country music history. Naomi Judd, Grammy-winning duo the Judds, has died. She was 76 years old. What a shocker! And we just had sort of a family reunion upstairs. We were just all having dinner together, supper together, and all of a sudden, my phone just started going crazy when people started. And thank you for the folks who let me know about this. But there's a statement from the family that read, "Today, we sisters experienced a tragedy. We lost our beautiful mother to a disease of mental illness. We are shattered. We are navigating profound grief and know that as we loved her, she was loved by her public. We are in unknown territory." That's what the statement read. When you look at the Judds and the effect that this band had, I mean, number one hits. Hi, Maria, how are you? Number one hits. Let me go through the number one hits and the immense amount of country music awards that they received. Mama, He's Crazy. Why Not Me? Girls Night Out. Love is Alive. Have Mercy. Grandpa, Tell Me About the Good Old Days. I love that song. Rockin' the Rhythm of the Rain. Cry Myself to Sleep. These are number one hits now, remember. I Know Where I'm Going. Maybe Your Baby's Got the Blues. This is insane. I'm looking at these. Turn It Loose. Change of Heart. Young Love, Strong Love. It's just never ending. Let Me Tell You About Love. Like just in like one after another. And a highly popular family. So someone just say, who was she? When you look at mental illness, and it's something that I'm very, very familiar with, and I'm sure everybody's family has some semblance of mental illness, which happened to be one of the subjects that we were talking about upstairs today, about people going through difficult times and not realizing, because, we live in a world where some people say, come on, chin up, don't worry about it, you can snap out of it. If you've ever experienced mental illness in any way, shape, or form, you'll understand that it's like going into a room and walking into a different personality and slightly forgetting who you are with the heaviness of what mental illness and depression can do. And it's one of the reasons that that I think that Naomi and her daughter had problems throughout the years. They were estranged. I'm going to talk about the awards in a second. I just saw these. Naomi and Winona, they were estranged for years, and that was part of it. Every family grapples with trying to understand it. I'm looking at the awards here. Academy of Country Music Award. From 84 to 90, they were top vocal duo. They won the award. And 2013, they won the Cliffy Stone Pioneer Award. Country Music Association. Horizon Award, Single of the Year, Why Not Me? Vocal Group of the Year from 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, and 91. Grammy Awards, Mama, He's Crazy, 1985, Best Country Performance by a Duo Group with Vocal. Same award in 86 for Why Not Me? Same award in 87 for Grandpa, Tell Me About the Good Old Days. Love that song, I can't say it enough. 89 and 92, they won the award for Give Me a Little Love and Love Can Build a Bridge, another song that I simply love. And I saw this woman in Vancouver on Robson. We have an autistic daughter, and Danica would have been about 6 at the time. And remember now, this lady had bright hair. Not as bright as her daughter, but Naomi was walking. We could see her coming down like a block away. And I looked at my wife and I said, that's Naomi Judd. And she said, no way. So anyway, she keeps coming. And finally, Shannon says, my God, that is her. She doesn't look at me or my wife. She looks right at our daughter. And she just gives her this most beautiful smile. She was filming something at the time in Vancouver because, of course, she was an actress as well, right? And a lot of people knew about her. But look at any picture. This is someone who suffered from depression most of her life. Most of her life. Look at any picture of Naomi Judd and you'll see someone with the biggest, most warmest Santa Claus smile you'll ever see in your life. Like one of those effervescent, great smiles on her face. She put on a good face, but she was suffering an awful lot. It's a huge loss and one of the greatest American country duos of all time. And it just breaks your heart that it ended like this. But Again, in our supper tonight, we were talking about depression. We were talking about having to go through it and people not understanding it. And I'll repeat what I just said a while ago, which was depression is like, or going into that phase of not wanting to, not being sure if you're going to be here. Of you go into a room and then you forget why you're in the room. That's normal, right? That happens to people. But you feel like you're in a different brain. It's like you've forgotten what's important to you. You've forgotten your past. You're just holding on to something. And then depression, if it gets worse, it's like you're going into another room and you multiply what just happened. I know I've suffered from depression most of my life, so I empathize with her. And it's so strange that you always saw her smiling, putting on her best face and contributing so much to music on that level for so many years, where country musicians or any musician is lucky to have a song that's played on the radio, let alone it being a hit. Most of us know people who have had at least a song played on the radio at some point, but this is like one hit after another. Let me just look at the chart again. It's just insane, the amount of success. And I know this is a rock channel, but there's no way that would not come on this channel and tip our hats to this lady who gave so much in country music. Again, I'll just read some of the number one hits. And this is not only the other ones, because most of them were number one from 1984 to 86, every one of their singles went number one. There you go. That's a good way of putting it. Mama, He's Crazy, Why Not Me? Girls Night Out, Love Is Alive, Have Mercy, Grandpa Tell Me About the Good Old Days, Rockin' with the Rhythm on the Rain, with the Rhythm of the Rain, sorry. Cry Me to Sleep, and Don't Be Cruel. Every one of them number one. And then we're looking at 1987, which is, to me, the last part of, well, the 90s country music was really good. I did like 90s country music. After that, I kind of lost faith in country music. I Know Where I'm Going, Mama, Your Baby's Got the Blues, Turn It Loose, Give a Little Love. That was a number two hit. Oh my, they had a number two. But everything's like number one. It's insane. And I like Wynonna's solo stuff as well. Love that stuff. And I wasn't the biggest country fan, as it probably shows with this. But what a loss, Naomi Judd, mother of Naomi, and a huge loss in music. I'm just dumbstruck by this. When we get a loss of this magnitude, too, of all things, depression, which is really sad, which is a sad way. Let me reiterate, it's a sad way to pass away. To be at that spot where you don't feel like you want to be around anymore. And sorry, I can't read your comments because I don't have an extra. Okay, hold on. I will read your comments. Let me just get to. Before we sign off, I'll read some of your comments. Let me just get to it. Pressing a few buttons. Sorry, guys. But everyone that I know has some kind of history, some semblance of history with depression. I'm just waiting for the comments to come up. Oh, here we go. Thank you, everyone who's commented. I appreciate that. So let's get to your comments. Hi, Maria. Hi, Maria. How are you? Guy Williams, loved her. Roger. Sorry, but who was this woman? Can you just look her up? And you'll know right away how important she was to music. Ed R., this is sad. Ma Angler. Who was she? Maria Day, I'm so sorry. So anyone who says that we're reading from another site, you might want to look at our channel and realize that the majority of what we do on this channel is talking to great musicians all over the world. And when news breaks on any particular topic, basically it's one artist talking about something and everyone else picking up on that story. That's how the news works. So let's not get catty when someone passes away. Just so that let's be adults here, okay? Just heard the news. Jeff says, very sorry. Yeah, kind of a bummer when you think about it. I, you know, what do I say here? When people say you've never heard of her, do you, do you, do you really need to comment on that? Is that important? Mike, uh, Marcelina, condolences to the family. Roger says, okay, thanks. Ashley, yeah, Ashley judges the actress. That's her mother. Jeffrey says, we're losing a lot of significant people. Marianne Kennedy says, hi, John. Not another great artist gone too soon. It's a sad way to die. Linda Minks, we will miss her. James Bashir, hi, James. Nice to have you on here. I had the pleasure of seeing the Judds in concert once. Roger R. I've heard of them, but I don't know any of their songs. Go on Spotify or any streaming service if you have one. It's well worth it. They had some great music, and I like that era of country music as well. Um, Dennis says the Judds were massively huge in the '80s. Indeed, it was insane how much of an impact they had. Yes. Oh, some of these comments. Come on. Someone just died. You know, you have to have respect. And you know, I'm not talking about you because you guys, most of the people who come on this channel, have one of the things that I find that when someone passes away, where someone will come up with dirty laundry, it's not happening here. It's always disappointing for me because I'm going, you might want to wait a week before you say that kind of thing. No, we don't have it on this one. Jeff says, never liked the Judds, but sad to hear of her passing. Well, that's fair enough. Kim says, Kim Stam, oh no, how sad. Douglas Fuqua, 90-year-old Loretta Lynn will be hurt. They were pretty good friends. My condolences. Daniel Kelly. We don't know if that's what it was, Daniel. I have to be careful with mentioning that stuff on this channel. Buki Martinez, pretty woman. Very beautiful woman, wasn't she? Yeah. Like I said, we ran into her. We passed by her on Robson Street when I lived in Vancouver. And she didn't look at me or look at Shannon, my wife. She looked straight at our autistic daughter, who was 6 at the time, and just gave her a big smile. It's almost like she knew, but maybe she just smiles at kids, right? Deanne Smith says, oh my goodness. No, I'm so sorry. I love Naomi. Okay, there's this one guy who's going to be banned from our channel because he keeps saying inappropriate things. Wow, another amazing musician gone way too soon. This is from Marianne Kennedy. Robert Ellison, yes. Oh my God. John, thank you. Just saw her on the CMT Awards. She was a Spitfire. Well said. And thank you for the donation, John. I appreciate that. Just reading some comments before we sign off. Condolences to the family. GE says, beautiful lady. She really was gorgeous. I just saw her on a Hallmark show this past winter. I don't know if it was a new one. Pookie says, absolutely, John. Not a big fan of country, but there are many artists of this genre I respect. Too many names to name. Yes, well said. Via Broder, very, very sad. You probably can't say that out loud. You guys can understand I can't say certain words out loud in this video. Oh, a flyer replane says, I knew 20 years ago something was wrong. She just acted just the way she acted. Jason Scholes says she was a class act. Sorry to hear. Ujal Daz says legends never die. Maria Day. Yeah, we don't need that here. I agreed, Maria. Some people, I don't know why people act the way they do when when celebrities die. Sometimes there's a lot of disrespect for whatever reason. I'm not sure why. And people get on here. CRT 1975, depression is a battle you fight every single day. God bless Naomi and her daughters, Winona and Ashley. Yeah, she was 76 years old. I want to thank the folks who came on here. We're still getting a lot of comments, but so far, the family is basically saying, today we sisters experienced a tragedy. We lost our beautiful mother to a disease of mental illness. We are shattered. We are navigating profound grief and know that as we loved her, she was loved by her public. We are in unknown territory. That's what the statement basically said. And I'd be remiss if I didn't go through these singles again. But anyway, before we do that, the Academy of Country Music from 84 to 1990, they won Top Vocal Duo. And Country Music Association, they were Vocal Group of the Year or Duo from 85 to 91. Grammy Awards, they won Best Country Performance in 85, 86, 87, 89, and 92. Says an awful lot. Huge, majorly profound influence on country music. And country music influences a lot of different genres as well. I was just shocked by this one. I just kept, I went, what? How? You know, whenever you hear about someone passing away, and I watch way too many crime shows, it'll come up and you'll hear someone say, so-and-so passed away, and the first thing you say is, what? How? What? Like they're not supposed to be gone. And our celebrity, our heroes in music always seem larger than life. It's always hard for us to grapple with losing someone. And this is a fine example of that. Beth said, sad loss. May Naomi rest in peace. Catherine says, I know you see this. So what time? What time she passed away? We don't have that information yet. Maria Day said something really nice. Music is music and everyone in it deserves respect. Iron Man 2009. They were very, very popular. Very true. In the 80s, they were like the king, I was not say kings, but the queens of country music. Daniel says Larry Strickland is her husband. I don't know who that is. I don't know her husband. Buki Martinez, if Jimi Hendrix died today, some fool would make an ignorant comment. Shows their insecurity regarding themselves. Catherine says, thank you, Ashley. What a tragic loss. I was so, as much as, I listened to country music back then, not a lot, because I was a rocker back then. I was syndicating radio shows across the country, and I was loving the stuff that I was doing, but you couldn't avoid the Judds. See, the Judds were like a band that even if you didn't like country music, you were going to hear their music no matter what, because through osmosis, through the radio, the background, and any department store, you were going to hear that stuff. Marianne Kennedy says, please give your rude comments to yourself. Show some respect. Thank you. Snowman. It is hard to announce this kind of news all the time because, as some people have said, watching this channel, your channel is like an obituary channel. Well, one thing we have to do is we have to be on our toes when we come on here because we're on live, right? And that's the basic thing. And a lot of times, not this one as much, but other artists that I'll talk about are out of our genre completely. Country's out of our genre, but at least I was familiar with the Judds, so. She was going to go back on tour. Yes, that's true. Still the queens of country music in my book. That's from Cagney Womack. Thank you. Very well said. Hike with Mike. Always loved the song Grandpa. Yeah, tell me about the good old days, right? Wasn't that a beautiful song? Even if the band had one hit and that was it, people would still remember them today. So, as I said before I go, depression is something that's so much bigger than one person, even though the one person might have it and the rest of the family may or may not know about it. I know about depression. I suffered from it all my life. And I'll say this for the third time, it's like walking into a room and forgetting why you walked into the room. That's normal. What's not normal is forgetting who you are within your own mind and forgetting what's important. And then depression is like going into another room on top of that where you forget like everything. and you're just trying to hold on. And people say it's selfish. It's not selfish. It's at all. And if it in fact was if she took her own life, I don't know. It certainly looks that way. Yeah, the judge just announced tour date with Jeffrey Hackett. You're right, Nancy King. Too many RIPs this week. Yes. Linda Timmons wrote, wow, tragic. What a loss of Winona. What a loss for Winona and Ashley. Yes, sorry. Just heard and saw this. Heartbreaking. She was a good Christian lady. Prayers to her daughters. Yeah. Ujjal Das. It's not really a good time to ask for a Mark Knopfler interview, but Rachel, as far as we know, yes. Rachel Corey. It sure looks that way. They're not coming out and say it, but let's rest assured, people don't come out and say that when this sort of thing happens. They don't usually come right out and say it. They'll say things like passed away suddenly, unexpected, and because I've been in the media 39 years, and it's basically the way that we announce it. So there you go. The comment that we got from the family, Pookie, was, today we sisters experienced a tragedy. We lost our beautiful mother to a disease of mental illness. We are shattered. We are navigating profound grief and know that as we loved her, she was loved by her public. We are in unknown territory. That's what the family basically wrote. A thing that unfortunately way too many families have to deal with, because as I was growing up, we didn't call it depression. We didn't know what to call it, but we'd always have someone who would stay home from school. And the only way you knew that they were depressed is you'd say, well, were you sick? And they'd say no. And then you'd get to know them a little bit and you would understand. Laika, thank you very much. I'm from the Philippines. Learned lots of music watching you. It's easy to see how much decent, compassionate person you are. Thank you. Sorry for the Canadian funds. Flight attendant in transit in Canada. Well, thank you. That's very kind of you. I appreciate that. But again, depression is something that is unknown to a lot of people, even though we're surrounded by it everywhere you go. Sometimes people who are depressed end up doing things they don't want to do, and this is easily one of them. So I'm going to wrap things up here. If you want me to stay on, I'll stay on, no problem. We were just having this family get together, sort of a reunion, and everyone in the family says, no, please go downstairs and just spend half an hour and do a tip of the hat to this fine lady who, like I said, passed by me on Robson Street in Vancouver. Someone had told me that she was filming something at the time because she was an actress. And she didn't look at me. She didn't look at my wife. She looked right at our 6-year-old autistic daughter and gave her the biggest smile as she was passing by. I'll never forget that. And we'll always be appreciative of that. You know, nice lady. Rockchild of the 60s, as far as we know, that's what she did. Oh, Iron Man 2009 says, sometimes you want to go to sleep and forget it all. There's anyone on here, I'm sure a lot of you know what depression is, whether you felt it yourself or have someone in your family. And trust me, you got someone in your family, everyone does, that it's a deep, dark hole that you forget you're in. You know, I don't want to reiterate this thing over and over again, but it's a difficult thing, and you get lost in the woods very easily suffering from depression. So I'm going to leave you now, but thank you everyone who came on here. And I'm so glad I had a chance to, where's my little pen, to come on here and say something about her. She smiled at my daughter one day, and she gave us a lot of music, and she was a beautiful person. In spite of what she was going through, she was still an incredibly beautiful person. Look at all the pictures, and a lot of you will. You'll go in on Google, and you'll want to see her face. You'll look at her eyes, and you'll see a person who was always smiling all the time and was incredibly talented and was ready to go on tour again with her daughter, with the Judds. And that will never happen. But she left us an awful lot. So respect the lady, go back and listen to her music, and God bless her. Love you guys. Thank you for coming on with me. Please subscribe to our channel and like this video in honor of this great woman. Take care.